Welcome everyone to the New Fly Fisher. In today's show, we're going to be talking about catching large Labrador brook trout on small flies. I'm talking about 3 to 7 pound brook trout. We will also talk about the pattern we're using today, the blue wing olive, and about how important this mayfly is to fly fishers and ecosystems. It's going to be a fascinating show. Stay with us.
The new Fly Fisher is made possible thanks to grants from the Canadian Fly Fisher magazine, which details Canadian destinations, innovative techniques, expert advice, and unique Canadian fly patterns. Enjoy the uncrowded waters, wild fish, and natural beauty of fly fishing in Canada. The Canadian Fly Fisher magazine. Frog Hair High Performance Tippet Material by Gamma Technologies. Richard Wheatley of England, makers of quality aluminum fly boxes since 1890. Teton, fly reels beautifully simple. Loon Environmental Outdoor Products, fishing with a conscience. Fisherman's Health, the place to relieve the pains and discomforts of fly fishing. Daiichi Premium Fly Hooks, the choice of serious anglers the world over, and with the financial support of viewers like you.
Welcome to the breathtaking beauty of Labrador. Today we're fishing on Awesome Lake, which is located in the Mealy Mountains, some 85 miles from Goose Bay. Awesome Lake is a pristine ecosystem that is fed from the English River watershed and has its headwaters in the heart of the mountains. This cold, crystal clear lake is home to giant brook trout, which are also commonly referred to as speckled trout, square tails, or speckies. Brook trout are the only game fish in this particular system, and thus their main competition for food is other brook trout. There is not a lot of forage available for these fish, and their growing season is very short. Thus they tend to be very aggressive and take advantage of any and all sources of food. The brook trout in Labrador grow to truly epic sizes due to a number of key factors. Certainly the remoteness and lack of access has preserved this fishery from abuse by some anglers, but it's more than that. One of the key reasons this fishery is so vibrant is primarily due to the philosophy of most lodge owners, like here at Awesome Lake. They believe in strict catch and release and the gentle handling of all fish. With this prudent outlook and forward-thinking ethics, the future of brook trout in this region seems most assured. Marla Blair runs a guiding service in the New England region. However, she does do some work in Labrador for part of the season. She is a gregarious and knowledgeable guide and loves coming to Labrador to fly fish for these huge trout. Marla is particularly knowledgeable about fly selection as it relates to insect and invertebrate life, and thus it was truly a personal pleasure to spend a day learning from her.
Actually, that looks like a spinner, the way it's flying. That is a spinner for the olive. The difference is the spinner doesn't have any color left in its wings because it's already mated and it's getting ready to lay its eggs. The pattern that I'm using is an imitation of a mayfly called a blue-winged olive. This particular fly is there's different subgenus in that family of blue-winged olives. This is an imitation of the larger of the three drunellas, which is the blue-winged olive cornuta, and which is a darker olive body and a slate-colored wing. And it's about a size 16, and there's several stages to the mayfly hatch. The first being the egg, and then the nymph, and then the emerging dun. And a dun is another word for an adult mayfly. The next stage is the adult, and when it becomes a newly hatched adult, it sits on the surface of the water, dries off its wings, and then flies away. And sometimes it takes a couple of days for it to mate, and then once it mates, the males drop off and the females start to look for a place, typically where they originally hatched on the river, and drop their eggs and die. And in that stage, they're called a spinner. And the pattern that I'm using can be used for both the mayfly adult or the spinner, and it's called a parachute. And it's a very effective pattern because the silhouette allows you the best of both worlds. You can be floated as a dry, but you can imitate it as the adult and put a little bit of action on it, or as a spinner with no action at all, or just like it's fluttering its wings before it dies. And it's quite effective. Whenever you have sun and clouds, you have olives. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Boy, they love these olives, don't they? You know, it's really, exciting and rewarding when you figure out what it is you need to use for the hatch to do the job. Oh, look at the colors! Oh my God, look at the colors of the fish. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Isn't that a pretty one? Look at the colors. I hate to bring them out for very long. No, not at all. He's very happy. He said, look at that. It's like pinks and golds. That was beautiful. Did you see that fly that was skimming across the water? Like it was trying to hatch? That's what I'm trying to do with this fly. I'm trying to present this fly to these fish that are sporadically rising out here, like that fly that was going across the top of the water. The thing is it's very hard to absolutely be able to imitate without creating a wake behind the fly, but with this little surface or subsurface drag, I'm going to try and present this fly almost the same way, as if it's trying to hatch off the surface of the water. And I put a little action in it, and I add a little line to it, and based on the current, I'll also add some mends to the line so that it stays pretty natural as it's drifting with the current down. And that's what I'm doing right now, is adding some mends and some line at the same time. And I'm still, hey, did you see that? Just had a hit. Missed it. But if I can keep it drifting naturally without any wake, with as little subsurface drag as possible, but still put action on the fly, that's typically when I'm going to get... Yeah, oh. I think he took my fly. No, he didn't. It's two. Oh, you never know. I'll know in a minute.
There's a big guy behind him.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, get him in quick. He's going to become munched.
I think I've got the big guy. No, I don't.
All right.
Well, that was a nice fish. What I did was I'm just letting the current take it down through this little riffle here. It's being created by the wind and the flow of water. And I'm also putting a little action on the fly. And these brook trout are very aggressive. And they're feeding, there's not a real rhythm yet to their feeding pattern, but they're sipping here and there. And what they're taking is they're taking the olives off the surface just when they're hatching, and also as they're dropping, because there are some spinners in the air that I'm seeing. So that's what I'm doing. And then that brookie came up and just whacked it. And then we saw that big one come up behind it and try to whack the smaller brookie. And I wanted to get it in pretty quickly. I didn't want anything to happen to him. It was a nice fish. It was probably about maybe 10, 11 inches. It wasn't real big, but you don't want to tell the fish that you hurt his feelings. I'm just going to try again, see if I can get one of these hogs. There we never know. Sometimes doing that little twitch back up, boom. It seems like the whole thing kind of changed on me here.
Oh yeah, go through the.
I'm gonna try over a little bit. Come on. I'm behind where that ripple is. Yeah, it's moving a little too fast though. I'm gonna do it again. Yeah, it was going too fast. It was looking like a Mutant Ninja Robo Fly.
Swing up, try it again.
The wind's picking it up. How's that? Is that lower? Right there? Oh yeah. Is that one of the big ones? Oh my God, it is.
It is.
Woo! Oh! You're in the will. Wally, you're in the will. Wally, I'm going to desperately need your help in netting this fish. I'd like to get him ready.
He's not ready yet.
No, I know that. I know that. That's why that's on. And he is, look at that. Oh, this is getting a little more aggressive, I'm sorry. Maybe he's not ready. Okay. Bring him up. Oh! Oh!
Yes.
Oh, yes. If you will just put that, and we'll get him in the water. No, I'm really leaning here.
Okay.
Are you going to be okay here? Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Brook Trout. Oh, that was so cool.
If you look carefully at this sequence, you'll spot a 3 to 4 pound brookie that refused Marla's offering. This obviously highlights the importance of matching the hatch in size and color. More importantly, it speaks volumes of the need to use polarized glasses so that you can discern a refusal or spot fish before you accidentally spook them. Polarized lenses utilize polarized filtering technology to diffuse the concentrated light waves. This filtering process usually eliminates 99% of the reflected glare. Polarized lenses effectively eliminate horizontally reflected glare and the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays. The end result is greater clarity, definition, brilliant color transmission, and reduced eye strain.
I'm imitating the larger of the subgenus of Drunellas. It's called a Drunella cornuta, and they do get typically up to a size 12 here. And you can find these flies with an olive body as well as a olive brown colored body and a gray colored body, and they have a slate wing. And they're very effective here. Whenever there's sun and clouds, you're going to have olives, whether they're in the nymph stage, the emerging dun stage, or the adult stage, which is the dun. And pretty much you can also fish the spinner stage, which is the last stage. After they mate, drop their wings, drop into the water and die. You can use all 4 stages here when you have these conditions. It's fantastic. I'm choosing the parachute because you can actually imitate 3 of the 4 stages with the parachute. What I'm doing is I'm casting out and I'm letting it drop down lightly. I'm stopping the rod tip up real high so it allows the fly to land more gently on the surface of the water. In doing that, it doesn't create a large splash, and it looks more natural because flies are basically weightless. And if you create a lot of splash, you can flatten the fish out. You won't get anything. I'm using a size 16 blue-winged olive parachute. The blue-winged olives on this water get up to a size 12. And you can use a size 12, you can use a size 16. The body color is that of, I've seen them in the olives. I've seen them in a darker brown olive, and I've seen them in an olive gray. I have an olive gray blue-winged olive that's not a parachute. It's actually very pretty. And it'll show up real nice on the water. I'm gonna grease it up real good and sort of float on it. And this is considered a thorax because of the way the silhouette will show up to the fish. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just make sure this is barbless. And I'm going to offset the hook as I always do on all my flies. If you do that consistently, you'll hook up on more fish because fish kind of hit the fly and turn their heads, and this way you can hook up more fish. I like to use barbless hooks that way. Not only is it easier to get it out of the fish, but it's also easier to get it out of me, which saves me a trip to the hospital. One of the reasons I twitch my fly is, especially here on a lake versus the river. On a river, sometimes it's not necessary, but there's so much water here. You want those fish to key in on it, and they're really cruising right now. They've been cruising, and this way they'll hopefully pick mine over something else in the water. Not a small fish. Warning, warning, warning. Not a small fish. Under the boat, not a small fish. Ooh, nice fish. I don't think it's one of the tanks, but it's certainly not a bad fish. Please don't go into the boat, mister, please. Look at that. Look at how dark are these spawning? These are spawning colors, huh? Are these spawning colors for these trout? Or is this, because when I see these kind of colors on my home waters, they tell us that they're spawning colors. But if this is a natural because of the color of the river, it being so dark?
Usually, some of them are darker than others. Some of them are very light colors.
Here, I'll take a net once you get that so you can get them in the water. Oops. 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 Very pretty. Nice. Yep. Nice fish. The blue-winged olive is a water quality indicator. And the reason I say that is they do not survive in bad water conditions. If you don't have clean water, these flies are not going to be there. And this is a very important fly for a trout's diet. And they're all over North America. I don't know of any river that doesn't have blue-winged olives for fish to feed. There's so many different subgenuses of this fly. I don't know them all. I'm sure there's more than 4, but it's a very important fly. And it's one of my go-to patterns whenever I'm somewhere else fishing, especially with conditions where you have sun and clouds, because that's when they're active. That's when you see them. These are also a food source not only for the trout, but for other living things, such as birds. Different kinds of birds feed on these flies. And other underwater critters feed on these. Damselflies feed on mayfly. nymphs. And I believe that blue-winged olives is a big part of their diet as well. So you got to have it in your fly box. It's a biggie. There's no way I'm going to net this, baby. I think I'm going to have you do it, Wally. If I ever get him in. I shouldn't say that. When I get him in.
What tippet you got on?
I got 5X.
What did he take?
A blue-winged olive parachute on the surface. Just doing a couple twitches and let it sit, and then a couple more twitches. Action on the fly is key. When you watch these flies hatch, they're not still on the water. And that parachute can mean several different things, because the silhouette can mean it's coming out of the shuck, means it could be trying its wings, getting ready to fly away as an adult done, or it could look like a spinner laying on the surface after it's laid its eggs. It's going to die. So, you know, you get the best of all worlds with a parachute pattern. And because we have sun and clouds, we have olives. Oh, do you see that?
Yeah, it's a good sized fish.
Oh, look at the colors. Almost looks like a brown from there, huh? The gold. Whew. Oh, good to have a long rod. Get around that bow. Oh, look at this. For the fish. All right. He looks like he's starting to get tired. And I don't want him to be too tired. He's hardy, but, you know.
Don't you lean over.
Yeah. Okay. He sees the net. I'm going to try and get it so that he doesn't see it, so you can put the net underneath him. Because that's going to be easier. If he sees it, he's going to spook. All right, here we go. Here we go. Oh, I'm going to reel just a little bit more.
Don't you lean over.
No, 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 no. I'm just going to keep my tip right up, and that's, if I can get his, oh, jeez.
As is always the case in fishing, you can't always land the big one. There are several good books which are related to today's show. For Understanding Blue-wing Olives and Other Mayfly Life Cycles, Selected Trout by Doug Swisher and Carl Richards is a good reference publication. Hatches 2 is a well-known and long-standing favorite book for those trying to understand basic entomology. The Hatches Made Simple by Charles Meck is a recent publication that goes into great detail about breaking down fly selection as it relates to differing mayfly hatches. In terms of Labrador fly fishing, Len Rich's book is an excellent primer on brook trout and other species. Nick Cara's Brook Trout is a very detailed history of this species throughout North America, and he does a special section dedicated to the large brookies of Labrador. The natural beauty of Labrador, combined with the very special brook trout fishing, makes for memories that will last a lifetime. If you want to learn more about the patterns we use today or about our series, then please visit us on the World Wide Web at www.thenewflyfisher.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.
The New Fly Fisher is made possible thanks to grants from the Canadian Fly Fisher magazine, which details Canadian destinations, innovative techniques, expert advice, and unique Canadian fly patterns. Enjoy the uncrowded waters, wild fish, and natural beauty of fly fishing in Canada. The Canadian Fly Fisher magazine. Frog Hair High Performance Tippet Material by Gamma Technologies. Richard Wheatley of England, makers of quality aluminum fly boxes since 1890. Teton, fly reels beautifully simple. Loon Environmental Outdoor Products, fishing with a conscience. Fisherman's Health, the place to relieve the pains and discomforts of fly fishing. Daiichi Premium Fly Hooks, the choice of serious anglers the world over. To order a copy of your favorite New Fly Fisher episode, contact us through our website at www.thenewflyfisher.com or call us at 613-836-8295. Copies of this educational series make an excellent gift for your favorite angler or friend, and they also make a good addition to your reference library. $14.95 for one VHS tape plus shipping and handling. Order 3 tapes and only pay $39.95 plus shipping and handling.